Hello, home shooting continuing. So as I promised in my last video, I will be talking about self-responsibility, the power of saying I'm responsible. If you are like me, if you like reading biggest thinkers in the world, if you have read philosophers or famous business people or people that are leaders, you will come up with the word self-reliance and self-responsibility a lot. Leaders, most of the readers I have read about, and most of the philosophers and people with great minds, I might call, the great minds in history, and also the great minds living right now in the world, they have this thing called responsibility. They realize, they are the ones, leaders are the ones who realize this life, my life, is my responsibility. You are not maybe responsible on what's happening to you on everyday basis, and I think we are even responsible for that, and I'm going to talk about that later. We are responsible about what we think about, how we feel, and we are responsible for our perceptions. So even though you're not responsible about what's happening to you or what's happening in your life, you're still responsible on how you react to it, but not on the behavioral basis, but on the mind basis, on the perception basis. Because no matter what happens to you, you can change it into an opportunity, or you can make it a trauma. I'm going to tell it again. Whatever happens to you in your life, you can see it with bare eyes, with awakened eyes, and you can see the good and bad, the drawbacks and the benefits of the situation. And in every situation, there are equal drawbacks and benefits, goods or bads, and evil and angelic. Or in every situation, good and bad are equal. You will either see that situation was a teaching, that situation or that experience didn't happen to you, it is happening for you, or you will choose to fall into your biases, to fall into your judgments, and you will start thinking, you will start naming the experience, good or bad, and you will create trauma after trauma after trauma. Leaders or successful people are basically, or fulfilled people, or people who have self-governance and who are governing their lives, who are, I think 44% of the whole world population, are the ones who are not doing that. So leaders or powerful people, successful people, are the ones who are not creating traumas, who are not falling. I'm using the word falling with an intention, because we are literally falling when we judge, and we are rising when we are objective. So when we are falling when we are subjective, we are shrinking, and I sometimes call it the ego consciousness in my books, like the Awakening book, I call it ego consciousness. We are either falling, shrinking, belittling ourselves and the world experience, and creating more and more problems and dramas and traumas and emotional triggers, or we are seeing things objectively with a two-sided reality, because everything is two-sided. Polarity Law is one of the most important laws in the universe, and I have videos about that if you want to watch. Or we look at it objectively and we see the reality and we rise into gratitude. And the moment we are objective, the moment we have a more balanced perception, a balanced perspective, and it's not a perspective, we see what's really happening, and what we feel is pure gratitude. And from that level of consciousness comes self-responsibility. And there is another level in self-responsibility I promised to talk about in the past few minutes, where I realized, so I think having self-responsibility and feeling responsible for your life, for your mind and everything, start with saying, I'm not responsible on what I'm experiencing, but I'm responsible on how I react to it. Then there's another level where you realize, I am responsible for anything that's happening. And I'm telling you this as someone who's been doing meditation over 20 years, and I'm telling you this as someone who researched on human behavior and have been working with her mind at least an hour every day for the past 20 years. And I'm telling you this as someone who have taught more than tens of thousands of people, who have helped and got people into transforming their lives, which led to transforming their lives. Because the moment you transform your mind, your life transforms. And I'm telling you this with someone's experience who got stuck in her mind for years and was able to work and balance her mind, and who was able to change her whole life. So that's the next level of self-responsibility. And when you get there, you get it all. I think that's the awakened state. We start saying, I'm responsible for all of this. I'm responsible for every little thing I experience. Every little thing in my life is about my vision and my mind. It's kind of like the more we meditate, and I'm a classic Vedic meditation teacher, and there's a reason I chose to be a classic Vedic meditation teacher, because I like going deep into things I teach. So I realized classic Vedic meditation is kind of like the grandma of all meditation traditions, and it has a depth, and it's like right from the start, it's so much different from any path you can ever experience. I chose that path, and with my Sufi background and everything, of course, Rumi's path and the Ney path, there is a level of understanding, deep understanding of connection. As I evolved in my meditations, I started connecting with creator within, the creativity, the creative power within. And the within is not kind of like in my body somewhere, because sometimes people think when they say within, it's somewhere inside the body, but inside the body we have organs. So when we say within, it's actually without. So within is the place where we connect with from our minds, from the third eye, and within is kind of like this light spreading outside, and this is within. So whenever we understand, and that's gonna only happen with daily, I think, minimum of an hour meditation, the classic way, you will eventually realize that within is what we've been calling without. So this whole thing is my own mind. What I'm experiencing in this world, I'm just watching my mind journey. This is kind of like a curriculum I say, because it's kind of like a lesson I either learn on my own if I'm awake and conscious, if awakening did happen, and if I'm an awake being. I look at this life and see myself everywhere I look at, and see my thoughts and see how those thoughts evolve and what's going on. And I learn consciously through the deep experience of my mind. Or I keep on experiencing stuff. I say stuff like, life is happening to me, this happened that day, that happened that day, and I felt that, this, and we keep on getting triggered. And to summarize all of these, if you don't start with saying, I'm responsible, you won't get to I'm responsible, and you won't get to the power of your own mind. The power of our minds, this one huge mind we are connected with, is beyond anything we know, beyond anything we can experience, and we can only tap into that with daily meditation. If you're interested in daily meditation, not the app way, I say, not the shallow way, but the deep, real classic Vedic meditation way, I would love to see you in one of my trainings. I think, because I said app, I think if you would like to use an app, use a breathing app, work on your breathing. If you want to do something guided on your spiritual journey, use breathwork sessions, use breathing sessions, because meditation can't be guided. It's like you are the guide in your meditations. If you let anyone else guide you in your meditations, you will get lost. So meditation, you need, in true meditation, you need your own silence, your own guidance, your own being, and that's it. No candles, no scents, nothing, just you and yourself is all about meditation. And maybe in the next video I'm going to talk more about classic Vedic meditation. Thanks for watching me today. See you in my next video.